preparing, setting up.
Well, it says live.
Oh, yeah, looks like we're live right
We're
here.
gonna take it at its word. So, welcome back, everybody, to what part 4 of what's supposed to be episode 2. So, yeah, back to Judgment and Jeddah. Once again, we have Craig from Third Floor Wars, Anthony from Runeslinger, Ivan from this channel that you're watching right now, because
Hey,
otherwise,
kids.
and Jose and me. And we are playing Age of Rebellion. This is part 4. When last we left our heroes, they had met up with what was left of Saw Gerrera's partisan band. They had rescued the rebel spy Nilo Villani from the city of Tajed and had learned from him about the Imperial mining operation where they are mining the Kyber crystals. The Kyber crystals are being altered somehow within the facility known as the Scar, which is an Imperial refinery on the edge of the wound on this world caused by the Death Star super laser. And they had met up with the partisans and were planning to sabotage this refinery. Also running with the rebels was a former Jedi Padawan who had hid from the Jedi Purge named Ansari Surway, and she had recognized the Force in Jaster Thome and Ilhana Aints and had offered to teach them the ways of the Force. She had given Jaster her old Padawan lightsaber, as she had constructed her own in the meantime, and had given Il a necklace with a Kyber crystal with a word hope on it, and instructed him in ways to meditate upon the crystal in the hopes of sparking, nurturing that spark of the Force in Il, so that he would, strengthen his connection to the Force. And when last we left, we said we're going to skip forward about 2 weeks because this is the time when Ansari will teach you the basics of the Force, right? So, over the next couple of weeks, Jaster is taught the basics of lightsaber use. If Il wants to learn as well, there might be some teaching instances as well, right? There's only one Padawan lightsaber, but I suppose you could do forms and take turns under her supervision. She told you that she had run when Order 66 was executed. Her master, Mika Sur, had told her to run and had died protecting her escape. Her last words were, "Run, my Padawan, trust in the Force, and hope shall live." She hid for years here in, many places, but eventually ended up here, hid among the Force sensitives who visited Jeddah City, which was a holy place of the Force, right? And so she thought she'd hide around this many people. But when the city was destroyed, she realized that she could no longer afford to hide and had to move and act. And so she met up with the remnants of Saw Gerrera's partisans. And, this is why she's decided to train both of you, because, she feels that talent cannot be wasted. You cannot afford to waste this talent, not anymore. And so she vowed to take you as Padawans, but you had to vow to obey her commands, right? I vow to teach you all I know of the ways of the Force, and you vow to obey my commands. What else? Over the next weeks, she shows you, she has one of those Holo Messenger chips, right? The little discs that you can put in the palm of your hand and project a hologram. And it's a recording of her master's master, the Ithorian Jedi Fontar, who took what they called the Barash vow and so went, left the Jedi Order to follow where the will of the Force would take him. But he kept in contact and, sent some images. She explains that Master Fontar was a painter. And so, part of his lessons are encoded within these paintings, right? And, she explains that people perceive the Force in different ways. Some people conceive of it as a vast ocean, right? Where you are immersed in and you feel the currents and the ripples of the Force. Others, conceptualize of it as a song or music with changing pitches and tones. And Master Fontar was a big believer of, different visualizations for this. And she has given Jaster that messenger so that the two of you can look at the pictures. And the last pictures that Master Fontar sent were beautiful images, paintings of multiple planets. It's at Bespin, and it's the yellowish planet of Bespin, and it's captioned Air. Another painting says Dantooine and is captioned Stone. And a third planet, Mon Calamari, and it's captioned Water, right? Ansari told you that, Master Fontar was working on a series of these paintings, but this last communication was sent from the planet Byblos, but they never got any more messages out of him. So, she tried to contact him years later because she didn't dare to initially, but there was never any answer, right? So she fears he died as well under Order 66. As part of this, we said that Jaster can now start using lightsaber brawn as a career skill. And I think that's about it for introductions. While you have been training in the uses of the Force, the rest of the group has been busy, planning additional moves. I thought before we get down to the planning, we'd just take care of a little bit of housekeeping because the ship that you guys landed in was damaged during the battle, but you left behind Mac 3PO and your R2 unit effecting repairs. And so let's drop a quick roll and see how those repairs are going. And it's 1 success and 2 threat. So improve the whole trauma by 1. And those 2 threats, I think we'll quantify that as system strain that has not been fully dealt with. So leave the strain as if it had taken 2 strain damage.
Got it.
And that's about it.
Mac, how's my ship? Mac, I'm using the scrambler or whatever you call it, the data encryptor. How's my ship, Mac? I'm trying to call him.
Repairs are difficult to effectuate, sir. We've managed to patch up some of the hull trauma, but most of it still remains. We'll need to visit a spaceport to effect more permanent repairs. Still, the ship is space-worthy.
How well can you fly, Mac?
R2 and I can manage, sir.
What exactly does manage mean?
R2 is rated as a fully certified pilot.
I've seen him fly before.
I can assist from the co-pilot's chair, much as I've been doing with you.
All right, we may need an extrication at some point, but there is anti-aircraft fire. I'd like to use that as the last resort, but be prepared to take off at a moment's notice.
Yes, sir. We'll be standing by.
All righty.
And so, let me see if we can.
One last thing for housekeeping.
Go
Boy,
ahead.
how do you want? There's a montage of Max getting some medical attention from our last fight. He got shot a couple times. So how do you want to handle that? I'm currently at 11 of 14 wounds.
Interesting. What is the natural healing rate? Just out of curiosity.
Naturally, I would heal 7, 1 a day.
Yeah. So and you're
2
only
weeks.
4 down, right?
Well, no, I've taken 11, so I need to heal 11.
Oh.
Right,
Yeah. So
and-
but it's 2 weeks, right? About 2
Yep.
weeks time. So let's assume that you get enough medical attention to where in a couple of days you're back up to full.
All right.
That seems adequate. Let me see if I can pull up the information that we have. And so sorry for the super information dump, but I think we have to, deal with what we know. This is a schematic of the Kyber Crystal Refinery. The facts that we know about it is that their perimeter is guarded by Viper probe droids, so approaching on foot is difficult. It sits on the lip of the wound, right, of the great crater with the exposed planet core. Aerial approach is difficult because there are anti-aircraft batteries on top of the installation, and from what Nilo knows, the only thing going in and out without too much hassle are mining guild ore crawlers, which have also been recent targets of raiding by Saw Gerrera's partisans. They tell you that these crawlers are all over the area, just strip mining away as many crystals as they can, and when their hulls are full, they just go into the refinery, and exchange their contents and then go back out again. So,
What can they tell us about Imperial presence on the haulers? I assume if they've been raided a few times, that the imps are now putting somebody on there.
well, the operation it's a joint operation with the mining guild. So
Okay.
it's, they're basically been commandeered by the Empire, but they're still getting paid, and so it is mining guild personnel doing the mining itself. They haven't encountered stormtroopers inside the ore crawlers that they've hit. It's mostly automated security with droids. It's usually 4 to 8 droids per crawler, which is pretty big. There are some slaves, and usually a couple of mining guild personnel, taking care of the actual operation of the machine.
Too bad.
They don't actually have any crawlers like the Resistance doesn't. Is that where we left it? We have to go.
They haven't captured any. They've sabotaged a few, but they haven't really taken over any.
Okay, well that's a smaller target. We should be able to get inside an R crawler. Not too much problem, right? You're good at that, right, Max? You can get us inside one of those. I can drive it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Think we get in there, and if we can get control of whoever the supervisor is, the mining guild supervisor, then I think we can secure it. I don't think the slaves are an issue, and if we've got the supervisor, the droid shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
So
I think the
Anthony's
tougher part-
muted because I see him trying to interject.
There is that bizarre Zoom thing where sometimes you need to mute yourself and then unmute yourself. And then, if that doesn't work, then sometimes what you need to do is
check
leave
your
and come
mic.
back.
Hello. Can you
There
hear
we
me?
go.
There you go.
There you go.
I was saying, for a distraction while we're sneaking in with the ore crawler, how do we feel about dropping a stolen, ship on top of the gantry?
Sure.
It works for me.
Yeah, we
It
can just-
looks like we have once we're there or getting in, we have 3 targets, right? We have to take out the main reactor. We have to lower the shields on the gantry and crystal chamber from the command center. And then the
Yeah.
freaking gantry has some battery operated repulsors that have to be manually handled too, right?
Right. So that's
Correct.
an awful
This
lot
is-
of things to do. Yeah.
Correct. And if you see in the little schematic here, they're sort of marked with some hashtags, right? It's
Right.
command center, main reactor, and gantry, because of the redundancy systems that Nilo Vellani has told you about. All three areas need to be deactivated, basically, to successfully sabotage this
It's a
installation.
hashtag we got our butts kicked here.
Right.
That's-
So
Might
when you
be-
say stolen ship, Eel, where are we going to get a stolen ship?
Wherever fine ships are stored.
Well, so we talk
Well,
about
I can-
sabotaging it. Is there any reason we can't just blow up the main reactor?
It's I suppose you could do that as well, right? You don't have enough detonators to do that. So, but I
Okay.
guess you might do some sort of workaround to get the reactor on overload. It could take a while, so it's risky.
Got it.
It might be if you set it to ramp up to detonation, process might be stopped if it's not, because it takes a while.
Got it.
But it's possible. It's not impossible.
As far as disabling these three locations, can that be done sequentially or does that have to be done simultaneously?
Ideally, again, it's like everything. The more, if you don't do it simultaneously, then there's time for the Imperials to go back and reset things, right? Assuming you don't just blow it up after you set it. But if you hit two of those locations at least, it should be fine.
I feel like
ideally all
this-
three, but yeah.
all this discussion, feel like should be taking place in what's his face's voice. I forget his name. The
In Benthic,
Ben. Oh, yeah, in Benthic's voice for maximum information clarity.
We must hit
So-
all three locations at once. We'll have to split our
That's better.
forces.
The thing that's bothering me is that if we take out one or two of the targets and shut down the refinery, the Empire is not going to struggle to put it back into operation if it's as important as we think it is. I mean, we really need to go the one step beyond.
and
Destroy,
destroy it.
Yeah.
Well,
Gotta
the
blow it up.
Max
The
wants to blow it
idea-
up.
the idea of doing these things is that if the gantry collapses, it'll take the refinery crystal infusion chamber with it.
Hmm.
And so the crystals falling into the planet core should cause some sort of chain reaction and destroy the whole installation. Because the crystals store energy, right? And if they're large and if
we'd-
they're
we'd like to
damaged,
release it.
and if they're large and damaged, they might, they set off a chain reaction and explode. So it's very difficult to handle in the first place. And the crystal refinery chamber is full of the largest crystals, right? So if that thing drops into the chasm, it's going to be a huge chain reaction. At
That
least
sounds like a good plan.
that's what
sounds like a good
Nilo believes.
So if I get this right, then you want me to drop a stolen ship on it, like crash it in, or should I fly in there as a distraction and then we all
Well,
come?
what I was thinking, is that you and I would steal a ship, and maybe your droid could meet us, and we could set a course for it to crash into the gantry, or at least draw all that anti-aircraft fire, right, and become a blazing hulk of molten metal to crash down on top of the gantry. Either or, I'm fine with it. We eject in an escape pod to be picked up by Max, or crash into the sands of Jeddah and have to walk. But either way,
Oh, we could do that. Sure, that sounds good. Then they can handle the crawler. Max has got. You can drive a crawler, can't you? Well, no,
Can.
you'll have the leader, whatever you call him. Sure, I think it's a good idea. Sounds a lot better than just walking in there and starting to shoot with all these people shooting back at me.
Now,
Keep in mind that there's a shield, right, that protects the thing. That's one of the things that you have to
Oh.
shut down.
we'd have to
You have
time
to
it
shut-
for when you get the shield down.
So That's one way to do it. Yeah, somebody at the command center shut down the shield, somebody at the reactor shut down the reactor, and then you can hit the gantry all clear, right? That's one way to do it.
But these two-prong assaults are, I mean, there's more moving parts, so more things to break down. We can all just go in together. And...
Well, if we adjust the timing, if you guys can steal that ship and we can hide it for a bit, come with me on the crawler, because I would prefer to have the four of us entering in on the crawler. I don't like the idea of just Jastra and I trying to bring the shields down for you. And let's just have Max ready, or R2 ready to fly the ship into the landing pad as soon as the four of us disable the shields.
So that we can escape.
So for the purposes of stealing ships, remember that the system is interdicted, right? So traffic in and out by spaceship is very limited. This is why you had to sort of, this is why you were pursued while approaching the planet. The ships that you know of that are here are at the top of Tajed City and at the landing pad in the refinery itself. So those are the only ships that you know. There might be other ships.
But
there you go.
that's a good option. We sneak in together, maybe take care of the reactor, and then we split up. Half go to the command center to turn off the shields, and the other go to the landing pad to do the ground
to get an
test
escape
starship.
vehicle.
All right. So here's another iteration of this idea. We take the crawler, we set that thing to blow up. So we bring the crawler into the ground vehicle bay, we get off the thing, we head off to our hashtags locations, and we use the distraction of our crawler blowing up the ground vehicle bay to draw heat.
I like it.
Just blow it all up. All right, good. Let's go to crawler. This is taking
Okay.
too long.
So
we're gonna
we're
need
Two weeks,
we're gonna
2
need
weeks
it.
of planning.
We're gonna need a slip and
go in
slide to
together.
get out of there.
And then after the shield is down, after the situation is set to destroy the gantry and the crystal infusion chamber, Bob and I go to the landing pad to secure our escape vehicle.
Perfect.
And then we'll rendezvous with our actual ship if it's better than the one we're escaping in. No
Love it.
offense, Bob, but there's lots of extra holes in your ship that as co-pilot I can't really sign off on.
There's a note by Nilo who says, well, if the main reactor is shut down, the anti-aircraft batteries will probably lose power, right? Because they
That's
draw
my
power
favorite
from the main
word.
reactor.
Probably.
So, well, no, let me rephrase that. Will lose power because he's the engineer, right? So he has access to schematics. So if you shut down the main reactor, you shut down the anti-aircraft batteries.
Wait a minute. If he's got the schematics, what are they using for schematics over there? Because
They're
I mean, he's
copies
literally
of the
got.
schematic.
Oh, he actually managed
That's
to like
true.
get one of the big. Okay. I thought he
One
had.
of the
He
big-
took the actual schematics. All right. Cool.
Now he studied them, right? This is probably just a computer reconstruction. He just did a quick
Let's not-
model, and this is why it's so bad.
This is John. No, this is genre fidelity. Looks like no. The
Uh,
schematics are the schematics on this big giant thing that you've got to plug in like a VCR tape. So, all right, good.
Mhm.
Good to know. Okay, I think
All right.
we're good. Let's go.
So run me through the entire plan once again, just so I have a clear picture. What is the plan?
I'm hearing that we're stealing the crawler.
Mhm.
We're bringing the crawler in. We're getting out of the crawler, blowing it up to create a distraction, running to our like 3 vulnerable locations, sabotaging those.
Mhm.
We're going to run off to the landing pad. At least Ela and I are going to secure a ship. If we need to get another ship and fly it into the gantry, we'll do that. But we got a secure ship, and then we're going to get the heck out of Dodge.
Excellent.
Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me. All right. So that being the plan,
Just
Benthic.
want to add a detail that maybe, although cool as crashing a ship into something is, it might be as simple as once we take care of the generator, Max and I can go to the command center and knock down the shields, and you guys steal the ship, shoot the gantry's repulsors,
That too.
and get us out of there. Nothing against crashing, just that's only one
You know-
ship.
You don't like the dangerous detail of us trying to escape from the ship before it crashes and trying to be picked up and rescued. You think that's an unnecessary complication, Jaster?
That's called friction, you know.
That's true. Part of the things that you're labeling, right, is a repulsor lift generator at the gantry. So once that thing is disabled and the power is cut off, right, the reason for cutting off power locally is that there are backup auxiliary batteries, right? But if you cut off the power to the repulsor lift for the gantry, it's by its own weight, it'll collapse. So you know, as long as you hit all 3 locations, it should work. The plan.
Good.
Oh.
There's that
One-
should, probably, might again.
One detail. One detail, Benthic. Are you going to be able to offer us any kind of support outside as a distraction once we're in?
Mhm.
Because if we're in there sabotaging things and blowing stuff up, like we still need some of the Imperials off of our tails because there's probably a million of them in there,
I like that.
and we're going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Plus, it's a classic.
We can help you secure the ore crawler. Also, microcharger disposal.
Ah,
You can create a distraction at the perimeter if needed.
Good.
Good.
Did anybody get that?
We
oh
did.
yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing. That's
Ah.
perfect.
It's crystal clear. Crystal
you're
clear.
like, yeah, that's a good one, man.
Okay.
All right. So, what I've been thinking about, we've been using the squad system for a while. And so what I'd like to do is limit the amount of people that you can take as a personal squad. So what we'll do is you can use some of the partisans as a squad, right? But I'd like to limit it to your leadership skill. For each green die that you have in the skill, you can take 1 partisan. And if you have a yellow die, that counts for 2. Right. So if you have 1 yellow, 1 green, you can take 3 people into your squad, into your personal squad. Except whoever is going with Ansari. So what we'll do for Ansari is, and she'll probably take Jaster. As a matter of fact, she'll say, yeah, Jaster and I can go take care of the gantry once we're inside. Ansari works differently. If you're with Ansari, you cannot use the partisans, but what she will do is provide you a blue boost die as usual, and she'll provide you an extra force die
Whoa.
That's cool.
while
And
she's
she,
with you, because that reflects her skill as a Jedi as well. Because I don't want to run an NPC, man. That's not cool.
but she also has a name, which means she's going to die.
Mhm.
That's
And
correct.
it's a distinct possibility.
It's canon.
And you can use her. You can use her to, you know, if you take damage. No. She takes the damage. So, but while she's with you, she'll give you a blue boost and a
Extra
force die.
Cool.
Yeah.
Although more realistic is that we're the NPCs and they're with her.
Right. But this is my way of reflecting that she's, you know, she's strong in the force and can help you as well. So
All right. Well, then
All right.
I'm taking 3 fellows with me.
I've got 3 partisans, and that's how I've written them down as partisan. Clearly unnamed.
yeah,
Not even a number.
it's no numbers, just 3 guys.
I'm taking 2, and I'm not asking them their names because I've learned my lesson through Carl. However, I am nicknaming them,
Mm.
you know, in my mind, you know, hair trigger,
So that,
stolen clothes.
you know. All right. So let's do this again. All right. So this is a schematic of the crawler. I don't know if I have a pointer here. Can you see the cursor arrow in the
Yeah.
image?
Yep.
All right. So this is the front of the crawler, right? There's a door here. This is the command center of the crawler, right? So you would need definitely to take care of this. This is your main target. However,
Is that a landing pad behind the door?
Well, there are flat surfaces just behind the door and back here. As you can see, there are walkways connecting the upper levels between the front section and the back section. I think these are power generators and stuff.
Yeah.
There will be droids patrolling, the areas, the top surface. There might be at the walkways. There is an entrance back here into the rear compartment, but there are additional entrances. You take the walkways, there's a way to go in to the rear compartment. From what the partisans know, again, it's probably a couple of mining guild up front. It's a bunch of droids around patrolling, and there are slaves at the back section, which is where the crystals will be stored, right? There might be slaves and a slaver or two. So
How about some sort of antenna array or communications? Because what we don't want to happen is for them to radio that they're getting attacked, right?
But I have a jammer.
You do?
I
Okay. All right.
Okay, cool.
So
cool. Because
we'll be-
otherwise, I think this is probably the communications.
All right. So we're going to need to jam that. So you're in charge of that, Bob.
I've got a Miradyne 1 comm jammer.
Beautiful. Other thing is, we definitely should get a fresh Destiny pool, shouldn't we?
Sure. Let's.
Oh, wait a minute. It's half and half. That looks beautiful.
All right.
It's beautifully balanced, so.
I'm fine with that.
Balancing the force right now because why tempt fate? Why tempt it from atop the thing?
All right. So, how are you approaching the crawler? They have spannels. You have a ship. You have multiple ways of approaching this crawler.
Probably the speeder bikes are probably the fastest
And
if we don't want to
speeder
jump from the
bikes.
sheep, right?
Yeah, but if you're carrying your partisans, you only
Yeah,
have a
we got a
couple of
bunch.
bikes.
That's
But
correct.
they do have spannels, and these things are not super fast, right? They move along slowly. So, ground approach, are you using the ship to land on top of the crawler?
Which ship
What-
is that?
Your ship. You have
Our
a ship.
The Chandrilla
Oh.
Dawn.
Yeah, the Chandrilla Dawn. Yeah.
Oh dear, no,
This is up to you. The
Yeah.
anti-aircraft batteries are in the
No.
refinery, not in the crawler. So
no, we're not using the Dawn. Yeah, I'd like them to stay where they are.
What if we have?
I say let's use the bikes and the spammels.
Yeah, let's have the part. I mean, I'm imagining the crawlers going out, mining, going back, going out, mining, and back. Right.
correct.
Let's find a crawler. We over the next couple weeks. Max and I spend our time figuring out which crawler we're going to go for. Figure out its patterns.
Correct.
Let's get partisans to set up at the mine. So when this crawler starts coming in, it sees the spammels there looking like a bunch of nomads, and hopefully it gets them to stop because maybe they have a camp built where right in the way. Right. Then the four of us come in on speeder bikes and let's try to rappel up to the top. Boba Fett style.
Nice. Do you have the rappelling guns, or there are stairs, right? Not stairs, ladders.
Ladders.
There's ladders up,
I would
so-
love it if, I don't have them. I don't know if the guys do, but maybe the partisans have.
Ascension guns, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, you could have if you flip one of those destiny points.
Do it.
I don't know, Benthic. How many times have you hit those orc rollers?
A bunch of times, but what they do is,
You really
Yeah.
think that they're going to believe nomads? You guys haven't used that trick? You guys haven't used that trick already?
Don't.
Oh.
They move slowly. The spammels should be able to. The spammels will be able to side up to the crawlers. They don't need to stop.
I don't think we need to stall them. I think they're probably onto them at this point.
I think we can climb up the sides pretty fast. I mean,
Okay.
All right, so let's do a Star Wars swipe scene, right? And now it is the open desert. It is daytime.
There it is.
A lone crawler moves across the sands, right? It lets out a huge plume of black smoke, visible for long distances. And in the distance, you can see additional tiny plumes of smoke where other crawlers are moving about. There's also there's dust and sand rising up, and in the horizon you can see the red lightning of the storms you've been faced with before. And through the black smoke and the sand, a herd of spammels just races along the sand with their very long legs, carrying the partisans and the rebels, right? You've got your respirators, you've got, hats covering your head, maybe scarves, the respirators and goggles to see and respirators to breathe through, right? And so you manage to get to the side of the crawlers without being spotted because of all the smoke and the sand that's blowing up. So you start going up the ladders, or with your, you said you wanted to flip one of these to get some ascension guns, right? So at least part of the team is going up through ascension guns. The others are following up the ladders and moving along the walkways on top of the crawler, and at the upper the upper corridors of the thing, right? They can look down. There's a bunch of droids patrolling, and so we see a group of security droids, IGRM security droids. There's a squad of 4 droids walking the perimeter, and so because you have the ascension guns, I'm going to give you boost die for your initiative, is what we're going to do. That's how we're going to reflect. And I see Anthony's mouth moving, but I don't hear anything, so I don't know if he's just saying anything.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
There you go.
I was just whispering. Yeah.
And so let us roll initiative real quick for this group of droids.
And this would be cool, I assume, right?
This is cool because you know what's coming, right? And it's going to be vigilance for them. And that's their initiative. You forgot the blue boost die there, Craig. Roll 1 blue.
2 advantage.
Okay. Cool. Let's see.
And I'm going to spend 1 strain.
Mm.
I'm going to exert myself to be able to go first. We'll see.
How do we handle ties? Can anybody remind me for initiative? Because there's 1 advantage by Jose and 1 advantage for them.
Oh, no, PC beats NPC, and then you use
There you go.
If they don't get any successes, we all go before them.
Excellent. I like the sound of that. That's exactly what's going to happen.
So I have 1 success and 2 advantage.
Good man.
Cool. So we have 4 PC slots as you guys rappel up the side of the crawler.
And we've got 1 minion group of 4.
Mm-hmm. At least out here. That's all you know. And remember, you probably have to see, if you're planning on blowing up the crystals, you probably have to seize both ends of the crawler, right? In this case, you might do it sequentially, one first and the other next, but up to you.
In the front or the back?
I suppose you guys are hitting the frontal compartment first.
We got to
Just double checking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's get control of the thing, then we can worry about taking care of the whoever's watching over the slaves.
All right, so 4 RGM droids are patrolling, their heads swiveling, and they haven't seen you yet. Who goes
Welcome.
first?
I think we need Ill's got advantages going first, and then I'll go after Ill.
Right.
Okay. Well,
And
I think
because
I'm
you
going to open with
rappel up, you have short range, so that's probably-
excellent. I think I will open with violence.
It's
Always a
Star
good
Wars.
choice. A
Yeah.
fine choice.
Okay. Here we go. And where is my... Okay. So... That's the same. And that's the same. That. And what else do I need? What else did I say? Okay. One green. I will do that. Get rid of that. And do that. Okay, here we go.
Oh my
yes.
God.
Woo!
Good start, Il.
Is
I'm
1,
not
2, 3,
unsatisfied.
4, 5. 5 plus how much is your gun?
6.
So it's 11 hits and
Yeah.
a triumph. Wow. Okay, so 11.
You can get a strain back too.
Yes, I'll use the advantage to feel good about myself so that the effort I put into pushing to go first is
Mhm.
alleviated.
So, Il, having drawn himself up via the ascension gun to the upper walkway, just sees 2 droids coming in from either side of the forward compartment, right, coming around the corners, and so he draws both guns and just shoots both sides, right, takes down one of the droids, and the other droid is hit as well, but it's smoking and it blows off one of their arms, but that droid is still standing.
Right.
And
I'll
so
use
there's
the
yeah.
triumph to take out.
Oh, triumph! Another. So you take the 2 droids, you take them out. Bam, 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 bam. And there's a third droid up top at the upper deck, and you manage to redirect your guns and inflict some damage upon him.
Cool.
And so
I'm imagining, and Il, tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm imagining you going up one side, I'm going up the other side.
on.
And I'm timing it so as soon as I hear Il's pistols go off, that's when I come up, roll onto the deck, and do hopefully clean up.
all right.
So
you
I've
see
got. Go ahead.
one droid with his back to you because it's turning to address the blaster fire from Il, and you see the other droid just taking pieces of the droid flying off as it's being hit.
All right. So I get on deck and immediately start blasting away at the 2 of them. So
Blast
I
him.
have 2 green, 2 yellow. I'm going to get a boost from my squad. I get a incidental aim, so it gives me a second boost. Is it a maneuver for me to get on the deck to start doing this, or do I have a maneuver to work with?
Let's give you you can do it for free. We'll
All
call
right.
the ascension gun just a free maneuver to get.
So we'll
up
do
there.
a second aim as a maneuver. And this is short distance, so difficulty 2.
1.
1. All right.
1. Yeah.
That was the right answer, by the way. All right. So that gives me 2 green, 2 yellow, 3 boost against a purple. And I'm going to automatically get 2 successes and a threat added to the result.
Oh my God.
So that will end up being 3 successes and 5 advantage. I'm going to crit for 3 of those advantage.
Let me refresh that because I don't see it. Oh, there we go.
So you're looking
it's a
total
crit, yeah.
total damage is 12 plus a crit. I think
All
that
right.
should clean this up.
That just does. Yes.
You got 6 advantage there, actually.
Blast the droid with his back turned to you, and the one who's shaking from the damage inflicted by Il just you manage to pulverize after that. You get 1 threat, so we'll call that strain because
Well, no, I lose an advantage for that 1 threat.
Oh, there we go.
oh, okay.
So I
All
should
right.
be clean.
That's true. Yeah. So that takes care of that entrance. But still, you gotta rush into the compartment right into the control cabin.
We let Bob and Jaster know that the coast is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were climbing behind you, so.
Yeah.
It's,
So what should we have? Should we keep the initiative order and have Jaster and Bob go into the
Or
cabin?
we
Yeah.
clear the zone and then they move up.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
they
All right.
move up. All right. So, one initiative order. Who bursts into the door?
Well, is it locked or?
No, it's not even locked. You guys have surprised them.
I look at Doko and Hadib and Milo and say, "Come on, burst through the door."
Oh no, I'll go next. Jaster goes for it as soon as he's done climbing the ladder. He goes for his blaster and then kind of like pauses a moment and reaches for the lightsaber and activates it and enters the room. So you're in the close quarters.
All right. So you
There you go.
enter the room and you see a small area with wide windows, right, out of which they can look at the horizon, and there's two people in yellow mining guild overalls, right, sitting down at the control. There's a pilot and a co-pilot for this thing, so they're both sitting down there. But beside them, there are 4 more security droids, 2 to one side, 2 to the other, just waiting, in guard position, and their faces turned toward you as you enter the room.
All right.
What
So
do
I
you
still got an action left, right?
Yes.
Let's smack them.
All right. Go for it.
I mean the droids, not the unarmed guards.
Not the.
All right, so we got.
So what are you doing? Are you shooting them? Are you using the
Oh,
lightsaber?
I got my lightsaber, so I'm gonna close with them. Take advantage that. What weapons are they armed with?
They have blaster rifles. Yeah.
All right,
Remember, it takes 1 maneuver to make it to engaged.
Yeah,
But then you can do whatever.
right,
And once you're at engaged combat, melee combat is 2 purples.
right. And it's fantastic because up close, their difficulty to hit me with rifles is 3, so it's actually kind of
Cool.
nice.
Cool. But since this is your first time using a lightsaber, I'm gonna flip one of those destiny points and make it 1 red, 1 purple for you to hit them.
Here comes the despair where Jaster hits himself with a lightsaber.
Yeah, too
That's
many
not on
years
the
ago.
list, man. That's not on the list. Don't go making up rules. But
All right.
There we go. All right.
So that's a total of 8 hits,
Mhm.
and
And it
either soak
bypasses.
should not apply.
That is correct. So 8 hits without soak means that, moving in a blur, you would just cut down one of the droids down the side, and it just collapses into 2 halves. And in the same swing, you turn around and smash the other sideways, right? So its head is severed in a single blow, right? So
Oh,
2 of the
nice.
droids are now down, and you have 1 advantage that you can use.
I'll give it to Bob.
All right.
Excellent.
And Bob is coming close on its heels, and you realize that 2 of the droids are now dead. There's 2 in the corner, leveling their assault rifle, their blaster rifles.
And just as Bob is entering, before Bob takes his action, Max yells, "Bob, you're behind. Catch up." We've all gotten 2 of them.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. You should have that. You should have that stupid freaking thing on that when you're saying that. All right, so we're going. Got the guys, the sons with me. I've got no, they're not sons. Doko, Hadib, and Milo are with me, and we walk in. The smoke is everywhere, from the lightsaber as he's mowing them down. So that gives us it's probably just that gives us a little bit more advantage as we're going in there. Blasters are blasting, and so I'm going to use. Actually got the I brought the heavy blaster rifle with me, one from the crates that we had. I
Nice.
forget the
Nice.
damage of those particular things off the top of my head. However,
I believe it's 9.
9.
Usually
difficulty is 1 though for this, right? Just double check.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So there we go.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
That was
So
so
that
that's
is
the boost from
9?
the smoke and boost from the sun. Since we are just blaster
12,
fire.
12 hits, yes.
So it's 12 hits. That is enough to destroy the true droids that are left. Right, there's a barrage of blaster fire,
Oh, yeah.
and the 2 security droids just collapse to the ground.
And they're I mean they have to be shooting us at the same time. I just imagine crossfire,
Yeah.
just
It's like-
bolts everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Some blaster fire all over the cabin. The 2 mining guild people just put their heads on their their arms over their heads and go, don't shoot. And so they
And I just look at one of them and smile and say, "Stand up."
so they
I motion the chair just so you stand up. So I sit down at the controls.
Max walks in after he sees the 2 guys come in, looks to his left, sees that Jaster's taken out 2, looks to his right and sees Bob's taken out 2, and gives the nod of approval that neither of them wanted or needed.
Yeah. So I asked as I restrained the pilots that we're not going to hurt you. Do you have some control over the restraining bolts for these droids? Maybe we can deactivate the rest of the patrolling ones. Good Lord.
That's an interesting proposition.
You want me to flip a destiny
Yes,
point?
if that's what you want, you'd have to flip a destiny point.
Then we can inactivate them and move on to the
Right.
Flip the point.
right.
So here's a thought.
No, wait. There you go.
Before we do that, before we flip that,
Okay.
what if we hit a some sort of alarm system and put over the comms that the main reactor is about to blow everybody off the crawler?
That's another way to do that.
Who's going to lead the crawlers? Bunch of slaves?
Well, I assume we have more
There's,
droids, right? And then
Well, you can ask them, right? So they'll
who's
just
left?
tell you there's a squad of security droids in the rear compartment. We have half a dozen slaves, and Otto, the slave, the slave master, who's down there.
I would think that we from the command center could send commands to those droids, not necessarily through restraining bolts, but like whether it be, tell them to come
Sure.
up here and we'll set up a ambush for them. So basically all we have is the slave driver to deal with.
Okay.
What do you think?
Give it a try.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that.
All
Let's-
right.
let's
So
tell them we've got an emergency up at the cockpit. We need security up here now.
So weapons malfunction.
Yeah.
okay, so let's do a deception check. Is what we're going to do.
Because we are being deceitful.
Are
All right. Who's
Indeed.
got our best deception? I've only got 2 green. Who's the most deceptive?
Anybody has cunning above 2? That's the first question.
I only
I
have cunning
do.
of 2.
are all
Okay.
very straightforward people.
Okay, back to the restraining bolt idea. Flip the goddamn destiny point. I don't think any of us have the ability. I have one. I'm
right.
the least cunning
Got
individual in the galaxy.
All right.
Because
So
the
we'll do that.
rationale is you'd have to give the appropriate code and stuff like that, right? So
No code,
authenticate
but it
your
checks
command
out.
and
But yeah,
stuff like
just
that.
flip the damn destiny point. Turn the droids off. We don't have time for this. Even
All
I
right,
saw through
all right.
that, Max.
So we gotta go free the slaves because I got the personal duty. So we definitely gotta go. Free the
I
slaves.
definitely am strongly motivated to shoot a slave master.
Good. Jesus.
You guys take care of that. I'm gonna. This thing has
Nice.
blazing speed. I've got to keep my hands on the controls. And don't worry,
It's-
we don't need to stop to let the slaves off. I'm sure they could just hop off. They're not gonna get hurt. And the leg. I'm just operating the legs to slowly,
You-
ponderously
you-
walk across the sand.
there's spammels and stuff, so the slaves could go with some of the partisans to gate them off. And as soon as as the droids are deactivated, the intercom system of the slaver ship comes up and goes. And one of the mining guild says, "That's Addo. He's asking what's going on."
Tell him we
Oh,
need
it's
him up
fine.
here. No, we need him up here.
Deception
What?
check.
Right. Why
That
not?
takes a deception check.
I'll roll it. We got
All right,
assistance.
So deception goes against discipline/will, which in this case is 2 green.
So
2 purple difficulty. I'm sorry. 2 purple difficulty.
All right. So let's try it.
Yeah, how bad can it be?
Bad.
Pretty bad.
Yes.
I don't even see it. I don't
It's
even
a
see it. I
failure.
gotta refresh.
With
Yeah, you
4
gotta refresh.
advantages.
Yikes.
And I'm stuck here because
Well, it could be much worse. I mean, there's no despair.
I'm stuck in the pilot seat right now because if you remember from the AT-ATs, you've got to actually literally move the leg each time yourself.
But yeah, there's a lot of advantage. So maybe he doesn't believe it, but he still doesn't know there's something wrong. I don't know. It's like he won't.
He doesn't believe it. But you hear, his questioning.
Well, what does he say? Come on, I want to hear his question.
You want to hear something. He's not going for it. There's a small camera which shows the rear compartment, right? And so you see this guy moving over. He's an Aqualish, right? If you remember, that's the guy from the cantina that doesn't like Luke.
Yep.
He's
And I
got
don't
balls
like
in his mouth. Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the thing in this. It looks like a walrus, right? So that's Addo, right? And he's going over to the security droids, and you can see him trying to pry open the restraining bolt. On one of the
I'm
Better
going to
get
go
over
kill him. Anyone want to come with me?
Yeah.
Let's
It's time for violence.
Yeah.
Take care of him, guys. You got to time these
All
things
right.
just right.
So let's do initiative again, real quick.
Let's see.
So that's my initiative.
You require me to roll?
Excuse me.
You require my roll?
If you're staying, then you don't need to roll.
I'm staying.
All right.
Oh,
So
come on, Bob.
whereas Ill has 2 advantages, but he has don't you have the free successes
Yes, I
and
get
stuff? Ill?
I get a success yet. Plus 2 advantages.
Okay. So the way that works is again 3 PC slots and 1 NPC slot. So you guys race across the go out through the door, down a set of stairs, through one of the or both of the walkways, right? And you open the door into the rear compartment of the ship, and you see a couple of droids standing, around the walkway. But down below, we'll say at medium range, you can see the Atto, the slaver, trying to pry the restraining bolt from one of the droids, but he hasn't managed to accomplish that yet. So who goes first?
I'll go.
I'm not gonna be crazy enough to get in the middle in between these guys and the target because I am not a Jedi yet. So I'll let them go ahead.
I'm going to fire twice.
Okay.
So that means that the difficulty is upgraded by 1
Okay.
to a red and a purple.
And because I have some of this left over, let's make it 2 reds. Because I'm flip one of this, and you
Monster.
have 1 setback die because the visibility isn't very good. There's steam, and
Okay.
the room is half in darkness, mostly lit by furnaces. There's also the kyber crystals in here, so you don't want to hit those. We've
All right.
mentioned the whole energy problem thing with the crystals.
Okay, so I have hair trigger and stolen clothes. You know, one breaks left, one breaks right as I go through the doorway, ducking low, firing twice, and that's all I
Oh.
manage.
Yeah,
A
but
triumph,
it's not
no
as
successes,
No success. I'm gonna try.
but I get 4 advantages if you can fathom that.
Yeah.
I will. I will. Crap. What will I do? I will pass an extra maneuver on to Max. I will get rid of my strain, and I'll pass 3 boost die on to the person who follows me.
Yikes.
okay.
This is
All
going
right.
to be fun.
So all that. So I charge through, firing, right? So now there's more steam. You know, as I hit things that aren't kyber crystals,
That's right, because you
Right.
got a triumph. Yeah.
and maybe causing folks to scatter, droids to kind of topple down in the way of our target, slowing down his own movement, and setting up a beautiful shot of him framed in gouts of steam in the dark lighting at the back of the crawler.
Yeah, maybe you hit the back furnace and the door pops open and the light is just illuminating him from the back. Right. So yeah.
And what kind of sound? What sound of anger and shock and surprise does he make? Come on! You gotta help me out here.
You're enjoying this way too much, man.
Yes, come on! What does he say? What does he say as all this happens? I love this.
So at this point, Max is starting to get in the groove with Il, and I'm imagining that he doesn't even have to. There's no conversation that needs to happen. We have almost got a rhythm now where I know Il is if he doesn't take care of the problem, he's going to set the table so I can. So one of my unnamed partisans wants to go in with Il, and I immediately say, no. We know what we're doing, right? So Il goes in, and I see the lights flashing of the blaster fire going, and then we head in. So I've got by default, I've got 2 green, 2 yellow, and a boost because of the accurate thing. This is the first because of set trigger and my electronic sighting. I'm going to get an incidental aim. I will also aim, gives me another boost. I will take 2 strain for a second maneuver. Actually,
Remember,
no,
I gave you one for free.
Yeah. I'm going to take the 2 strain because I still want to do an aim. And it's going to take me a maneuver to get in there. So I don't get another boost from there. And then I get 3 additional from the beautiful table setting by Il. This will be against 2 purple. Is that correct?
It's 2 purple, but I'm going to upgrade one of those to 1 red,
right,
1
so
purple.
Purple and a red. So we've got 2 green, 2 yellow, 6 boost against 1 purple, 1 red. And I still have a setback for environmental, right?
Yes.
All right.
Oh my God. Look at
And
that.
you got to add to that 2 successes and a threat. So we end up with 5. So it's going to be 14 damage and a crit.
With 4 advantage.
All right. So
And I will drop my strain
14.
by 1 for that last advantage.
So it's 14 damage.
Plus a crit.
And a crit. Okay. It's if it's a rival, crits just do
It's like a normal crit. Yeah, you gotta roll it.
Yeah.
It's like a
Roll
normal
it.
crit. Yeah, okay. So roll the normal crit for this guy. You hit him. Boy, do you hit him. But he's quite a tough fellow. So
It's the
maybe roll
layers
that
of blubber.
1.
Roll to 1.
roll the 1.
Wow.
Which is,
That's
minor
because
nick.
it's the
He
first
suffers
roll
one
crit.
strain, but because it's
Rival,
It's,
it's a wound.
well, it's a wound, right? So it takes an additional point of damage,
Ouch.
and it's seriously hurt.
Is there a shot of pain?
Just
So, Eloy, let's go 50-50. Let's buy Ivan this morph program. I'll pay for half. You pay for half,
should.
and he can
Sure,
just sit there
yeah.
on a live stream all by himself and just make
And just
make
do the
voices.
noises.
I'll pitch in. I'll pitch in.
We'll make this
I'll monetize
it's
and I'll
almost
be
like
rich.
a Patreon thing. Yeah, it's like
okay. I'll be rich. All right. I guess it's his turn now.
Yeah.
no, it's 3 PCs, right? Who else was going?
Oh,
Jaster's.
Jaster's right behind me.
All right. So that's excellent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a maneuver to move to short range.
Okay.
And because I have the excellent defense of 2 people who are actually trying to kill him, I'm going to use an incidental to stop using my sense for defense. So I have the 2 force die available.
Mhm.
And I reach forward, eyes closed, to try to pull his weapon from his hands.
Nice.
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Now, he can, because he's a rival and I assume an important one, he can resist with athletics.
Athletics. Let me get his card. Where is his card? It was here a minute ago.
I want to say it's
here we go.
read the book. My God, here we go.
So he resists with agility. So agility would be
athletics.
oh, athletics. Right, but if he doesn't have one, then it's brawn, right?
Right.
So it's a 3 purple difficulty then. But remember, you have 2 force die from.
Right. Yeah, and because I have to do this with discipline, I can actually flip one of these because it's a skill check involved.
Cool.
Come on.
Yay! Look
Oh,
at that.
wait.
Wait, 2
Incredible
successes
fight.
and
No, I hit the wrong thing.
Oh, that's tragic.
No,
That is
no, I
tragic.
got it. Yeah, that's tragic. So I
That,
got
you know,
2
like a
triumphs.
waste of such a cool roll.
Yeah, so it's 2 triumphs, and so he manages to hold on to it. I don't know what the triumphs would do, and the force did work because I got those 1 black pip.
that's
and
right. You
2.
got two
So I
white
don't-
pips.
let me
You got
see
2
what-
successes and a threat.
So here's what we'll do.
No, but the 2 successes and a threat are extraneous. The official roll is the first one.
Right,
Ah.
that's right. It's
I just
so
rolled
2
again
triumphs
for the
and
force dice.
failures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's give you 1 strain for this
Mhm.
difficulty of this, using the force for the, in
First time in
combat in such
combat,
a
yeah.
stressful situation. Yeah. The triumph.
Let me see. I could maybe use those to damage his weapon. I couldn't pull it out of his
You can
hand.
destroy equipment. Yeah.
Yeah,
With that. So
yeah.
That's true. You can disarm using that. So,
Which is what I was trying to do. So instead of it being in my hand, he drops it or something. I don't know.
it just drops it. Yeah. So what he had as a weapon is a metal tube, not too dissimilar from your lightsaber, but of course it's extremely unlikely that it's a lightsaber. So I think with one of those triumphs, he gets to drop it on the floor. You just don't get it to your hand. But he does. What I'm going to do to honor that failure, would him drawing another weapon be, that doesn't seem fair. That's all right. He just drops it to the floor, right? So that was his main weapon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different weapon for his action.
All right.
So he's going to take,
I just got to jump in for a sec. Craig, did you use the maneuver that I gave you with my triumph?
I did not.
So maybe you don't have all that strain.
Right.
Got it. Good call.
Okay, so correct me here because I forgot. Drawing a weapon is
Maneuver.
maneuver. All right. Okay. So he is going to draw a stun pistol, is what he
Okay.
does, right? And you move to short range. Is that right,
Right.
Jose?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think you're nearest. So he's going to
Mhm.
shoot you.
All right.
And let me see what his skill is. So he goes. And it's short range. Let me double check that pistol. For some reason, I forgot to put it down.
Jaster, Jaster bought
Oh, it's the
deflect,
same.
right?
That's what I forgot.
What? No, I
Jaster bought
can't yet.
deflect.
No, I can't.
Not
No,
yet.
no. I am not a Jedi
And
yet.
to be fair, I'm going to give him the setback dice, which we said was there. And you do not have your force die committed to defense.
Correct. Correct.
So it's one purple difficulty for him. Do you want to flip a point to make it more harder for him?
No. Go for it.
All right. So he hits you for 9 points of stun damage. Now
Okay.
your soak applies.
Yes, it's 5.
So it's 5
Four
that
strain.
gets through, but it goes to
4 gets
to-
through. 4 gets through.
4 gets through. It goes to strain. It doesn't go to wounds.
Perfect.
So that's what he gets, and he gets an additional free maneuver, right?
Mm-hmm.
With those 2
You could. Yep.
advantages, and so he uses that and knocks with the butt of the gun, knocks the restraining bolt from one of the droids.
Okay.
All right, and so that's his action, and we go back to the top of the.
If
Of
you
the
guys
round.
if you guys don't mind, since I'm here, can I take that one?
No, not at all.
All right. So you know what's gonna happen, right? I tried to take him alive, but
He insisted, so
he insisted. So I'm closing and trying to smack him with the saber. That's what's gonna happen.
Just your
all right. So it's
Chester.
one maneuver to engage.
Right.
And we were a level
and after
above him,
that-
right? So he's got to drop down. Jaster does to engage him.
He did previously on the previous
did
turn.
he-
He spent a maneuver to go down the
Got it.
stairs to close to
Did
short
he say
range.
hello there when he got there or no?
No. Or the other thing actually is I could just let's try and smack him. But, fortune favors the brave. Let's go.
Chop
Do
his
it.
arm off. Come on, man.
Do it.
Are you increasing my difficulty? Or is this important enough?
I got a good spread here. I think I'm going to keep it like that.
All right. So he takes a crit and 2 and 8 hits.
Oh my god! All right, so you
I think he lost an arm,
kill.
didn't he?
yeah you managed to kill him. The
And
droid
disarm him one way or the other.
disarm him. Yeah, completely.
Oh,
And you have 2 advantages which you could use to heal some of that strain.
All right. Perfect.
And he goes down. It's just the droid seems to be reaching back for its weapon. But fortunately, there's 2 more people before the droid gets to act.
And I'm not engaged with it yet, so
Yeah. So who goes next?
I will avail myself of the opportunity for violence.
Nice.
Go for it. Remember, it's 1 setback for the visibility.
Okay, 1 setback for the visibility. I will. Okay. Everything's good. Oh, that's just not fair.
Okay, that's a
Oh my God.
miss. No.
So I
So once again,
Il's raison d'etre is to help Max shoot people.
Yeah.
this is his role in this team. Definitely assist.
So I hope I hope that the disorienting fire that I've got ricocheting all around this heavily armored room, right, helps as I passed 4 boost dice on to Max.
Like
Oh,
four boost
definitely,
dice.
because part of what's happening is the droid is trying to avoid fire, and its photoreceptors are sort of like scanning all over the place, trying to decide which target to attack because there's way too many people in this room. So that sets him up for Craig.
All right, so I take a maneuver to get you short.
Okay.
I get a boost for my incidental aim. This is not the first encounter, so I don't get my 2 successes and a threat to this roll. And then I get my 4 boost.
And 1 setback for visibility.
1 setback plus 1 purple, and then I get 1 for my unnamed red shirts. So that's gonna be 2 green, 2 yellow, 7 boost, 1
Oh my
purple,
God.
1 setback.
Oh. All right. So you start shooting at him. And with that triumph, he just starts, reeling back from the multiple shots that are smacking its chassis, and it falls into the open door of the furnace that Il had blown open before that, right? So that concludes the combat because the other 3 security droids are held by the restraining bolt. How are we doing for time, Il? We got to stop
I have
in a couple
about
minutes?
4 minutes.
All right. And so, the Aqualish slaver is dead. The robots have been incapacitated. You offload the slaves, which is like 6 slaves that they had via the Spammels, right? And some of the partisans take them back. The rest of the team stays with you. And the crawler heads toward the refinery. Right. It takes a while because the crawler is slow. And the good news is that you have enough Kyber in the back chamber to do whatever you want with it. You can bluff your way in because you have enough Kyber. So it makes sense that you're returning to base, right? Or if you want to blow it up, then you're going to have to rig it up to explode.
What did we do with the 2 mining colony guys? Bob, are they up there? Are you have one hand driving, one hand with a pistol on them?
We
Or?
tied them up.
We tied them up.
All right. Beautiful.
You
Okay,
can't
good.
drive
Tie
this.
them
You
up.
can't drive this thing with one hand,
Got it.
Max.
Perfect.
Max,
You
you
can-
shoot things. I'm gonna drive.
Got it.
You can take their clothes. You can send them off with the Spammels and some of the partisans. You can decide whatever to do with them.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd
we
like
should,
to-
yeah.
we need to keep them in case there's some sort of passcode, secret word, or whatever that to let us in. So I think we definitely need to keep them there and keep them suitably intimidated.
I'll let you handle that. We'll
right,
get it.
so,
Most important thing is to get this thing inside first, and then we can deal with whatever later.
Before I leave the back,
So-
I'm going to liberate some Kyber just in case one day I
Yes.
get to make a lightsaber out of it.
Yes, I was going to ask if
The-
Ansari could direct us to pick up.
The one in your necklace should do for a lightsaber if you want to. But sure, I'm sure you can get. You can.
I'm a 2-weapon
She-
kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a point right there. Sure, she directs you, and she uses the opportunity to teach you about the Force, right, and sensing, and you sort of sense your way around the Kyber chamber. And these crystals are clear; they haven't been, changed
Corrupted.
into the reddish purple ones. That's exactly what it is. And so you manage to pick up some suitable crystals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, I definitely need a blue one for some point in the future. So,
And I wait for the opportunity to say to Il and kind of gesturing to Jaster. I say, you need to get one of those. Those are nice.
So just moving forward a little bit, are we able to get in without any kind of passcode, or do we?
And that's what I was going to get at. Night has fallen. by the time you approach the refinery. So it's outlined against the glare of the molten lava arising from the scar, right? And so this facility is again on the lip of the scar. The gantry protrudes into the fire over the chasm, right? And there's a rounded chamber, below the gantry, right? And so in that rounded chamber, you see occasionally a beam of reddish light, similar to the lightning that you encountered in the storm, right? Going through the chamber. And Nilo points out that's the crystal refinery. That's how they're changing the crystals, right? Supercharging them, they say. I'm not certain exactly what the process is there, but the crystals are changed once the procedure is done. And, you've passed through the perimeter of Viper droids. You are approaching, there's tracks in the sand leading up to the side of the building where one of those large Imperial blast doors opens. And as you go in, you can see there's cargo shuttles on the Imperial cargo shuttles on top on the landing pad of the structure, right? And that's what you see as the vehicle enters the landing bay and the blast doors close behind you. And I think this is where we're going to leave it. So we're going to start next week. I'm not going to do a recap next week because it's taking way too long, but I think it was important for the force training montage. So
those probe droids are freaking me out.
And this time we get 10 XPs, right? We catch up from last.
Yes, you do.
Excellent.
So,
and to sort of say farewell to Ivan, who really likes it, I'll just say.
I was hoping that was I was just the point we didn't get the sound of his death.
Jose, how much XP total have we earned?
Okay, counting the first session, the very first session, we have earned 45.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
So it's
Il is 15 south of that, I think. So he's 30, right? Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Excellent.
And
Well, that's
Il is
cool.
getting the 4C power?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. So you remind me of that when you want to, you need to roll to activate that, right?
Yeah, like you can do it on purpose, but the game master is encouraged to give you dreams and whatnot. And I thought that,
Okay.
given our short playtime, that might be really useful.
Yeah, excellent. So
I'll definitely keep that in mind for next time then. Excellent.
well, maybe they'll just send a scan team into the crawler. So open up with us getting out of there and doing our thing. So cool, awesome.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that you've managed to sneak in normally, right? So they're not expecting anything out of the. This is not the Millennium Falcon that they just captured. This is just a delivery coming in.
right.
Regular
I like
delivery
our
is on
situation.
time.
I like our situation.
So,
And we'll be with our combined deception, we should be able to just walk right in there like we own the place.
No question.
well, you might discuss strategy and stuff in the group, and we have some time to discuss.
Listen, Bob's good at like bribing, but that's about it. But deception, not so much. Yeah, I shouldn't be here. Want a pizza?
There's deception, there's stealth, there's
I think
none of the
we're
things
gonna-
that you
Skills that
have
we
could
don't
be
have.
useful right here. Yeah, all the skills that you don't have would be very useful right now.
Well, but Bob has good agility, so he's got the stealth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe
We
I'll
could-
invest in some stealth, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Good
All right,
good
guys.
session, guys.
It was
All right.
awesome.